welcome along, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Excellent. No, we're pretty excited about it. I'm sure you guys have been pretty busy, so we're lucky to have you. It's been a pretty fantastic couple of weeks for your team.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Thank you for your patience. We've been waiting a couple of weeks for this AMA.
Yeah, no, we've had a fair few people fairly interested to hear from you, and I think, when you sell out in 3.5 days and have a token launch the way you guys did, it's no wonder. So it's all credit to you guys. So I guess we'll just start off by talking a little bit about your background and the background of sort of the idea of the project, and let us know a little bit about the team as if we haven't met before, Shan.
You want me to start, Sean? Or?
Yep, you start.
Yeah. Darth Knight here. I've been in cryptocurrency for about almost 5 years now, since 2016, 17, somewhere like that. Crazy journey. I've always been a bit into stocks before that, but then I heard about this. Well, I heard about it before, obviously, but in 2016, 17, I transitioned into this, and it's been quite a journey. Always been more of a trader until I think like the whole DeFi bull cycle that we had like 2 years ago, I think, and then the NFT hype, obviously, and then that's where I spend more and more time in this space. And eventually I found the Harmony blockchain through DeFi Kingdoms, actually. And basically from there, I quickly found Cosmic Universe, and that's where I joined that team as a moderator a little bit after that. And that's where my real journey, I think, in this space really started. Like I was almost full-time busy with that, with Cosmic Universe, and then a few months later, also the Atlantis team. Like the whales. Learned a lot from those guys, obviously, and like a lot also from my fellow moderators at Cosmic Universe, like Shan, for example. From there, that's where I sort of got the idea, like, wouldn't it be fun to at one day like start my own project? And just made a private Discord, chuck all the brainstorming, all the ideas, I threw it all in there. And then I got Sean on board, like, hey, could you have a look at this? What do you think? And Sean was super supportive, like right off the bat. And then we were like, man, we should do this together. So that's where this all came from. Quite right. So yeah.
I think it's a cool story, Darth, and I think it's I think there's a lot of people in all of our communities that are fairly inspired by, they know you guys, they've followed just your journeys, seen you in other projects, and now here you are with this great project of your own. So I think it's sort of everyone's dream to come up with their own project a bit, and you guys are living it. So congratulations, it's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope. I hope that more people, like you said, people might be inspired by this. Well, I truly hope they are, and start their own stuff. There's so many opportunities in the space right now to do really cool stuff. So I hope people are going to go for that, for sure.
Yeah, totally agree. Good ideas can be turned into anything at this point in time, and it's sort of what makes the whole space really exciting right now. So I've quite enjoyed it. Shan, do you want to tell us a little bit about your background, mate?
Yep. So I was also in crypto in 2017, made a few gains there, and then I sold out of it when I moved home to New Zealand, just because I couldn't be bothered figuring out how to change exchange from Australian to New Zealand. So I missed the entire bear market. And then one day I was hearing about how Dogecoin had gone up like 1 bajillion %. So I checked my Aussie wallet, and like $6 of Doge had turned into $200, and I was like, oh, it's come back again. And that's when I messaged a friend who I'd got into crypto to see if he was still in it, and he introduced me to Axie Infinity. So I became a scholar through him and earned enough to make my own Axie team, and then started rolling out my own scholarships. And then when I stopped losing faith and started losing faith in the Axie team, I started looking into other avenues, and that's when I found Harmony. And similar to Darth, from there I found DFK and then CU, and then I joined CU, became community manager there, joined Atlantis, and yeah, then beginning of the year, Darth started the private Discord with his brainstorm dump, and it's now the Knights and Peasants Discord, which sold out in 3.5 days. So it's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You just hit such momentum, and it didn't stop. Like the first day, I think you had 1,500, and I was like, "Wow, that's a great first day." Like, I wonder if they've sort of exploited their marketplace, but it just didn't slow down, did it?
We were thinking, shit, if we can hit 1,000 in the first day, we'll be really, really happy with that. And it happened in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
At that stage, you're probably wondering if you're leaving money on the table, selling them too cheap. No, it was really exciting to watch, and people got right into it. Like the rarities, the artwork, people were really going looking for those swords as well. So I thought it was really quite a fun 3 days that you guys had over there.
and the entire team, except for me, missed the minting out as well. They all woke up to it being minted out.
It would have been nice to wake up to, but I guess it means that you didn't go and buy one late one to fill up your teams.
Yeah, I think we sold about 1,200 nights while they slept.
Yeah, that was
Unreal.
crazy. It was like, there's
Unreal.
1,200 left. I will probably make it. And then I woke up and missed it by 20 minutes. Yeah.
Good times, good times. So was that kind of, were you expecting it to be as successful as that, guys, from what you'd seen, or it just sort of snowballed?
Well, me and Sean were talking about it, like before the minting, obviously, and also with better blockchain and Hope Slicer. Like, what are we expecting from the mint? And we were thinking, like Sean said, like 1,000 mints in the first day would be really successful, and then we slowly go from there, right? Like it's a slow grind until we sell out. But yeah, like you said, it just didn't stop. We weren't expecting that. But...
We were fully preparing for a slow grind.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I thought you'd do quite well, but I don't think anyone could have expected you to do that well. So how about we go back a little bit, and you guys tell us a little bit about Knights and Peasants. Give us and explain it like we're five for those that haven't heard, and in the future I'm sure people will be checking out on YouTube to just to hear about it, a little bit about it for the first time. So maybe explain us the game and the thought process behind the game, as if we'd never heard of it before as well. That'd be cool.
Do you want to take this one, Duff?
Yeah, sure. So, well, basically we are like it's a medieval themed idle game, like these mobile games where you like progress your character or your kingdom or whatever, like step by step, little steps, and just grow stronger every day. That's the goal we're after. So we have like your knight, you can level up, you can become stronger, you can get items, and the whole peasant ID sort of plays into the medieval theme, right? So you have knights who are like chivalrous and who go out to fight, and then you have the peasants who are supporting them in the knight's kingdom, and that's what we're going after. So you have a knight, you progress, you find peasants to support you on the quests you go on to, you find items, you become even stronger. You can do more difficult quests, etc. And yeah, you just grow day by day by engaging with the ecosystem. That's the main idea behind it.
Yeah, I think I find the game quite intriguing. The idle status of the game, but still the strategies that need to be sort of made to best be most efficient. I find that quite interesting. And when you first started, I guess you were talking about the idle side of the game quite a lot, but I think at the moment we're getting to that point where you guys are thinking about quests and thinking about other things. Do you think you're still going to be able to describe yourself as an idle game once you sort of get to the end of the development process?
I think so. Like even with like say you have a quest in the future, like when you're level 10, you have a level 10 knight, and you have a quest that requires like a level 10 knight, different items, different peasants, etc., to get to that ultimate setup where you have the most success chance. I think that's where a lot of the strategy will come into play. Like you have to make the best team as possible. But it's in essence still an idle game, right? It's a clicker. Who knows what will happen in the future? But for now, I think we're still an idle game. But yeah, still that can be a lot of fun to make the best strategies, like you said, collect the best peasants, collect the best items. Yeah, we think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we can't say too much because our devs are listening to make sure that we don't overpromise.
Yeah, I saw them in here.
Yeah, I think that'd be the horror of all devs teams everywhere when the founders jump on an AMA and get asked tricky questions. No, I won't make you put a rod to their back. So I think well, it must be said that you're coming along really quickly, aren't you? Like things are happening quite quickly on that side of things, on the dev side of things, aren't they? You haven't had too many holdups.
Yeah, they're amazing. What can I say? Like they're rolling out stuff so quickly, and even the next feature we have lined up is well, I don't want to put pressure on them now, but yeah, it's in the works and it's going so well. Yeah, what can I say? Like they're amazing. They have
Awesome.
a high pace, and yeah.
I think they're the heroes behind the curtain on a lot of projects, so it's good to give them some love sometimes. So good work, devs.
Oh yeah.
So I want to talk about the Knight NFTs. Let's have a little yarn about the artwork and the background behind them, and talk a little bit about the rarities and the different swords. The swords intrigue me. Is getting one of those big swords going to make me win battles later on?
Yeah. So when we were brainstorming about the collection, like what we mentioned earlier, like we were dumping stuff in our Discord, IDs. We really wanted the weapons. Like the weapons have the most traits out of the whole collection. I think there's 14 or 15 different ones. We wanted to do some cool stuff with that would like trigger some sort of a I wouldn't say rivalry, but like some people will prefer the Dragon Blade over the Golden Sword, and some people like the Molten Blade, the Ice Blade, stuff like that. I think for me personally, that was really fun to brainstorm about. And like you said earlier, with the whole minting process and people getting those rare swords, sharing them, that was a lot of the minting fun as well, and still is. So I'm happy with that. How that turned out.
Yeah, I think they turned out really well. It'll be interesting to see if we end up with the Templar Guild getting themselves together. I like that there's those few different types of Dark Knights as well. So there's plenty of variety there. So I think there's a lot that can be done. How about the squires? That's something that we haven't sort of, in community, we're not quite as aware about squires and peasants and these sorts of things and how they're going to work. Have you got some stuff you can tell us about how to prepare best for the introduction of those support crew?
Well, basically, like the squire thing leans into the theme of like a knight summoning. Well, we call it summoning, but it's like a knight calling a squire to his side, right? So that's where the idea of a squire came from. We have to say it's a lot of the whole squire system is still in basically IDs phase. Like we are designing and simulating ways that we can, like there's a lot of difficult questions when it comes to squires, right? So we don't want to overflood the market with squire supply. We don't want to feel people who joined the project later and didn't get a knight, let's call it a Gen 0 knight. We don't want to feel that those people are like left out, because they don't have a knight, they can't summon a squire. There's a lot of different questions we still need a concrete answer to. But basically, the squire system is, when we have it completely fleshed out, I think one of the coolest things out there. You can have different. Our idea, at least, is like you can have different sort of items influence the outcome of the summoning. So that will like motivate people to get those items on difficult quests, stuff like that. I think that's going to be like one of the coolest stuff on our roadmap for this year, at least.
Yeah, there's so much you can do with it, isn't there? Like, just opens up a lot of opportunities. I think Shan wants them all to be lady squires at this point. Is that what I heard, Shan?
Yes. I want some female knights. I want some badass bitch knights.
There's nothing to say that they're not all badass bitches under those helmets.
Can we cut that out of the recording?
Just mark it for time edit. But I think it'd be cool, and I guess there really is nothing to say what's going on under those helmets at this point. So you can use your imagination a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I think we'll leave that there for a little bit, because I know we've got some questions in the questions page there about a bit more of that stuff. So I won't tread on everyone's toes and steal their good questions. But I do want to talk about tokenomics a little bit, and just the thought process behind your tokenomics and how it flows a little bit in a basic form and basic understanding, where the priorities lie. Personally, like from what I've read and followed with you guys right from the start, I thought your tokenomics were pretty much bulletproof. They're safe. They're not trying to do sort of anything fancy, which is I think pretty cool. But I don't know, maybe you guys give us it in your words.
Yeah, basically the same as you just described. Like, we wanted to keep it simple. There's no need for a lot of fancy stuff. We looked at different projects, what worked for them. And we took inspiration from there. We think the majority of our supply is going to the Knight NFT holders, right? Who are basically, in essence, the biggest supporters of the project. There's people who bought a lot of Knights, and they are going to reap the rewards, right? 80% of the supply is going to them. And I think that's a really cool model, to have the supply go to the people who are most supportive. There's obviously stuff that went to providing liquidity and the other basic necessary stuff, I should call it that. And there's stuff there's a portion flowing to us as well to keep the development going. And we have some cool plans for those funds as well, which we can't say too much about right now, but we are definitely going to use that.
They're listening, Dad.
Oh yeah, developers. No, we're definitely going to use those funds to give back to the community, like do really cool stuff with that. That will help this project keep moving forward. And I think that's the gist of it, of the tokenomics, right? Like you said, we need to keep it simple. The NFT holders are getting rewarded, and I think that's a good model.
Yeah, I like the fact that you're not trying to pay those investments back in 10 days. It's an 80 day sort of investment return on a lot of these things around that sort of rate. I think I figured out for what I've done, and I'm quite happy with that, because anything that's unsustainable and too fast just isn't going to stand up. But I'm also rather happy to couple of claims I've had. It's quite satisfying. I've got myself a little bit of X-Night in the bank now, so I think it's going in the right direction. I think so. If everyone that's following along here wants to click on the right hand side, you'll see Knights and Peasants AMA questions if you're not in there already, and we'll roll just through a few of these ones, because there are some pretty good ones and quite a lot of questions there. So we'll start a little bit about some of these ones, guys, if you don't mind. If you're over there and can see them, I'll sort of head you towards the ones we're looking for. So there's a few when questions there. I know you're getting a lot of when questions. But when dragons, I have heard dragons. I've heard dragons talk in the Discord chat. How close is that to reality?
Silence.
No, I'm only teasing. But we do have a few questions here about sort of other generations and other I guess we call them other races or other characters, other classes. Is there sort of, I know that'd be long term down the track in your thinking at this point, but do you think that's a possibility?
So you're looking at the second generation NFTs like archers, bards, etc. question?
Yeah, and then I think
Yep.
Redguard has, cavalry, and there's a couple of other questions I've seen through there that are sort of that sort of ilk, and I think it gets back to that idea. Later on, you'll see another question there that says new players. Once we've got more than 5,000 people, new players that are going to want knights. I don't know we've got the squires in the early stages, but yeah, that sort of idea. Do you think there's a possibility of branching out somewhat at some point?
So cavalry is on our ideas board. But it's like not set in stone at the moment. And a lot of the characters like Bard, sort of those sorts of characters that you see in a medieval setting, they'll fall under the peasants category.
Ah, very cool, very cool. So our peasants will have sort of, I guess, and I have read it in the white paper, but the peasants are going to have strength in certain areas and help more in certain jobs. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. Use certain items, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So
and
they'll
have their own
strengths.
quests. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we're going to see how many slots for peasants do we have per night, Shan? How does that work? You get a certain amount of slots there for those knights to fill in with their peasants and squires, and they add extra strengths in certain areas. That's correct. Yeah.
That's still being ironed out. It's being very careful here. Yeah, that's still in development, that part.
Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how it works. My knights are actually making me quite decent returns. And if anyone else is out there playing along with the game, they would have seen I've sort of gone to level 2 on everything after the training camp, and I find that quite a decent return. And I'll just use the returns from my knights to get those last levels on everything. Once I've waited for your snapshot in your bank. So bank snapshots, how's that working out? I know bank's sort of something that you guys added, and this isn't a question in there, it might be later, but you guys added the bank sort of late on in your idea plan. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
We surprised everybody with the bank.
Yeah, it's been successful though. Yeah, I think a lot of people are actually stacking in the bank.
Yeah, we wanted to give our tokens some more utility, give everybody single staking, and it recycles tokens that are already being used as well. It's not minting new tokens. And we can use that for other transactions within our ecosystem in the future as well to keep the bank going.
Yeah, I think these banks are sort of really, really going to be important. It gives you that extra TVL, make sure people are sort of longevity in the game, so I quite liked it.
And with the snapshots, there's just so many exciting things we can do with it.
Yeah, that's right. It really pays really gives people an opportunity to actually be rewarded for those sorts of things, and for not just being sort of trying to flick their knight back out into the marketplace straight away. So it's good. It's good. I'll get back on track because I sort of asked 2 questions from other people and then went selfish again. So, but we'll go back over here. So we've got will questing events possibly occur where many knights will be pulled together from different wallets to compete? So I think there's another one straight under that about guilds as well. So maybe we'll phrase that question as team play, sort of helpful cooperation play. Is it the sort of thing that we're likely to see some of that in game?
It is. Oh, sorry. Do you want to take it?
That's definitely a little bit further down the road. Like the questing system we are looking at now, will just be it won't be multi-wallet style stuff, right? So at the start, you will use your own wallet, your own knights to go onto these quests. and like guilds and stuff like that, we have to dig a little bit deeper into that to like flesh that out completely. That's a bit further down the line than just, let's call it, single player game style. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I think you've seen naturally people sort of help each other out in the background, and that's one thing that we're good at in Harmony community, isn't it? Everyone likes to help each other out. So I think you'll see that start to develop probably earlier than you guys necessarily have to do much for it. Like we'll see it over in Alpha really early on, I think. So it's quite exciting, that sort of stuff. There was another question there that I sort of skipped over because I did two at once. How will ensure tokens continue to circulate once we get to full dilution? That's a long time away, obviously, but once Knights stop emitting tokens, do we have a plan to continue to get tokens to circulate through the system?
Yeah.
That's from Marukai.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, that's basically like our entire gameplay loop. It's up to us to have the ecosystem fun and engaging enough for people to want to spend tokens in it, right? And keep progressing there, because if people spend a token, well, 10% of that's going to the bank. There's a lot of stuff going to the quest reward pool, stuff like that, and then we can have like quests pooling out of that quest reward fund in the future as well, right? So that's basically the way the token will have to keep circulating after the emissions run out.
Bad has something to add to that too.
What's that?
Bad has something to add to that as well. He said the contract for the camp can use our wallet tokens after they're minted, so we can manually refill as well and change the way the tokens are used. They added that as early as a feature.
Interesting. I think the question's worth it, but I guess it gets back to that point. As Arthur was saying, once you have your quests and your items and you get a market and these sorts of things, all creating fees and all creating circulation for this money, you keep refilling the quest pools, and it continues to be successful. But that's your job to make it fun.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's that's our job. Like that's the most important thing to nail. Like if it isn't fun, people won't be spending the tokens, and then the token won't keep circulating through the ecosystem, right? So we have a lot of cool plans to make it fun, and we are going to have to deliver on that, right? That's the whole point. What we want to.
Well, there's a lot of people have got faith in you, so at least you've got the support, and you didn't have to go sort of shaking the can around to put the cash together to make the next level happen. That's handy. We'll go to, I think, Redguard here, obtaining items. I know you touched on items. Do you want to go a little bit further about equipping items and these sorts of things as far as what you're up to now? Is there likely to be any crafting of these sorts of things, or are there things that we're going to find in quests more?
Both. Like our initial plan is like we start introducing quests, which can have a chance to reward items, right? So if you meet a certain requirement, like you have a level 2 knight and you have the training camp and the weapon mastery level 1 upgraded, then you have a certain % chance to complete the mission quest. When you complete it, you can find an item, you can get some experience, but that's basically the loop how items will be introduced into the ecosystem to the players, and those will then be tradable with other people, of course. So crafting, we have thought about that as well. It's a bit further down the road, but that's definitely something we want to do 100%. Like, so you can get a certain weapon and a few items from other quests you need as well. You combine them, burn them all, and you get like a new item, right? That's basically the crafting system we want to have eventually in the future. But yeah, that's a bit further down the road. But yeah, we want that because it's fun, right? Especially if there's like percentage chance involved there. Like you can get a really rare weapon from that, or something like that. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I think crafting's become such a big part of so many games, sort of, even off-chain games with Minecraft and these sorts of things, that it really strikes a note with people. And I think in game and on-chain games, it adds that level of usage for all these items that you quest for, when you can sort of combine them for something that's, there's less of them, but it's a little bit more special, and keep working with scarcity. I like the idea of these sorts of things. Yeah. So Rosh's, I think we've talked about. There's one here about renting nights out and peasants and squires. Is it something that you guys are sort of thinking about in-game rental systems at some point, or like we're talking obviously over at Alpha about creating secondary rental marketplaces for some of the games that could use them but don't necessarily have them yet? Is it something that you're sort of thinking about creating in-game, or you'd be more relying on secondary markets for?
It's not on our roadmap right now, but it's something that we can potentially look at further down the road as well. Like we understand that a lot of people really want renting for their NFTs.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, obviously asset holders are really looking for those opportunities for passive income, but I guess the way your game's set up is really passive income driven anyway, isn't it? So it's it'll be interesting to see what people want to do with them once you've got those quests. And as you say, like, you're clicking your buttons, you're setting your tasks and these sorts of things. I guess once they've all got squires and they've all got peasants, it's going to be a lot more involved for the people with larger number of knights, isn't it?
Yeah. So from the very beginning, that was one of the things that we wanted to make sure of, that we didn't have something that would take several hours a day of your life just for, a few tokens. Just like, if anybody has played Axie Infinity, it's such a grind, and it just drains your mental health trying to do that every day. So we wanted something simple but with strategy that everybody could enjoy and gain from, basically. So yeah, rentals aren't in our short-term roadmap, but they're not something we're crossing off the list just yet.
Yeah, cool. And I guess that's so early on. It's I totally feel you though when you're talking about sort of needing to connect yourself too much for a game for it to be actually healthy for the rest of your portfolio. I hear that. We've seen it, and I think we see a lot of people in our community that are sort of feeling the same way, because if you're too in depth and in deep with something that won't let you let up and look around, you miss other opportunities, and that sort of, it becomes a bit much. So that's, I think a lot of people feel the same way. How many items will be dropping in the quest pool, and will those items be a part of the Squire's rarity when we create them? So I think we've kind of touched a fair bit on items there. There is one just under that though about leveling up Squires and leveling up those support crew. Are they going to level up similar to the way we see knights, with a knight X knight token or a knight token?
They'll level up the same way as knights. Yep. They have the same utility in that respect.
Yeah, and we'll probably see similar sort of percentage of return on investment as we go through those levels. So
yeah, they just won't have the training camp that knights have. So we'll we'll get deeper into that as they come out. Leveling up is from quests for them.
Excellent. So they'll be gaining experience more than paying tokens to level up. Is that what you're saying there?
Yeah.
Cool. Roshi, what timeline? He's given us a when question. Squire Fusion, Redguard, is that sort of maybe asking whether squires can be combined to form stronger squires?
That's not in the plans, right?
Squire Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. My generation would say Squire Voltron. Yeah, where I'm a little older than you. It's that's cool though. So hey, I guess there's lots of ideas, and you never know where you go. But at the moment, we'll say that's probably not going to happen.
Probably not.
Virtual virus. This is This is a pretty cool question. I think we sort of touched on it a little bit, but bank utility, other added bank utility, and also there was a mention of addition utility outside of reflections from upgrades. So maybe touch on the bank and things that you're thinking about in the future for them, if we haven't covered it already, and then we'll talk about sort of other utility of upgrades other than reflections. So I'm assuming that that's sort of. I had a little question about that myself, because we get stats on our knights, but those stats, are we going to upgrade those stats sort of when we start getting experience? Is that what's happening there, or those stats will upgrade when we give them squires?
No. Like the knight stats, you will be able to upgrade them when they level up. So when you level up, you get
cool.
you can choose what you want to level up. So that's
excellent. Skill tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
And to touch on the bank, like the bank is a pretty crucial feature for us, because it locks up tokens in a way to reduce the sell pressure on the token, but also gives like an incentive for people to make a little bit of extra money, right? Like 10% of every token that gets spent in the ecosystem, it goes to the bank. And like for future utility, there's actually like a announcement we wanted to make right now, which we're pretty excited about, and it ties in with the bank as well. Like for our first like our upcoming release, is going to be having our own marketplace. So like we have a pretty, that's really cool. Like we have a pretty unique ecosystem, right? With knights, we're going to have peasants, items, etc. And we want them all to be tradable on our own marketplace. It's a pretty crucial feature to have for us that we need to have out there before we can roll out the rest of the stuff, right? Because if items start dropping from quests and you can't trade them with other people, that limits the economy a lot. So we felt the need to have our own marketplace, and it's the same. Like every knight token that gets spent there, a portion of that is flowing to the bank holders as well.
Awesome, that's exciting. I think that once you get to a certain size with some of these projects, as we've seen, like they need, as you've said, they need their own marketplace, because it's creating a certain amount of funds that needs to be kept within the game ecosystem, isn't it? It's important.
And also, BAD has added custom subgraphs to it to give us freedom and the ability to perform snapshots on the marketplace as well.
So you guys will be able to say, someone's sold a certain amount of whatever item it is, and they're sort of the biggest trader for the day, and you'll be able to recognise that within your system.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm going to drop a screenshot of the.
That's too excited.
Yeah, I'm too excited for that. I'm dropping a screenshot of the marketplace that how it's going to look like.
So what Darth didn't mention is that our marketplace is already in the testing phase.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. So am I allowed to say when marketplace?
Yes. Well, it's in the testing phase right now, so it won't be like a matter of weeks away. We're pretty confident about the marketplace. It's in testing,
but no comment.
Yeah,
No,
it's dangerous to say an exact date. Yeah,
you need to play a straight bat. That's cool, but I think there's going to be a lot of people really excited about that. So obviously we'll be using Knight token exclusively in the marketplace.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Darth, have you dropped the screenshot of it yet?
Yeah, I dropped it here in this Discord in the Knights and Peasant channel.
I see it.
So you have the Knights, obviously, the level, the training camp upgrades that he has done. It's in there as well. When you click details, there's the buy option and stuff pops up there. And you can filter, obviously, for all the items you want. All of that good stuff, really. So
I think
we're pretty
it's
excited about that.
it's important. Like, because obviously, you can get the job done on NFT Key or some of these other secondary marketplaces, but to be able to actually put your own, your own things in there and your own sort of sliders for whatever it might be on different traits or, as you say, different upgrades, you can really set it up to work for you for your community as best as possible. So I think it shows a sign of maturity in the project. Is it something that you've always had on? Like, I know you're dripping today and people weren't necessarily expecting it yet, but has it always been in the plans?
Yeah, it has been. Like I said, I think it's a necessary step because of all the different things we're going to have in our ecosystem, like the peasants and the items. We want to have them all in one place, right? And like you said, like.
Sorry, but somebody just said, are there any plans to add functionality to have bought Ape Yacht Club NFTs for profile pictures? I'm scared.
There's a sneak. That's clever.
No, but the
I won't
marketplace
be able
gives
to
back to
afford
the
one.
community as well, right? Through
yeah, well, that's right. So, what sort of a fee? What sort of a fee are you going to be working with in that marketplace? Obviously there'll be, I'm assuming, a couple of percent go back into the quest rewards and different funds.
Let me just check that we're allowed to say this.
Fair enough.
Hang on. Bad's going to answer. Do you just want to type in the AMA questions channel, Bad? I'll just sit here in silence while he types.
Is Bad oops now, or is Bad?
Yeah, he's oops.
Bad? Yeah. Well, it's better. At least it's not fuck off.
It's good that you changed it.
Yeah. So while he's coming up with that, maybe I'll just read ahead a little bit. If you guys want to add anything, because I know this is pretty exciting news, so I'm sure there's if there's anything more you want to talk about that marketplace, go for it.
Well, I like you touched on fees a little bit. This, like, we haven't made a final decision on it, but like, obviously, I think 3% or something right now is going to NFT Key. Like, that's not going to happen anymore. Obviously, it's our own marketplace, so we want to really use this the marketplace as a way to incentivize bank holders as well. So I don't have an exact number, but a good portion of it will be going to bank holders. So to keep the money in the ecosystem, basically. So I think that's really important in our opinion. And it's like you said, it's a necessary component of the stuff we're building. We need this. So
it'll be quite interesting to see sort of volumes and these sorts of things. It's I always find it quite interesting to watch patterns of behaviour, and you can see so well out of these marketplace situations. So it's going to be interesting for you. I'll just scroll down to. You guys have got some great questions, by the way. So anyone that's following, put questions in here. Thanks a lot for it. It makes my job really easy. There's one here just about expanding the community. You guys have plans for sort of outreach, and I know you guys have been pretty good at it because you have such good name recognition within your team already. So do you have sort of plans for expansion, or I guess it's more of a marketing question, isn't it?
So like what we did so far, like obviously there's a lot of noise around our project at the moment, right? We had a really good first week, so we had a great start, but we want to keep the marketing about the same as we're doing right now. So as we roll more stuff out, we can check in with like influencers or do Twitter stuff. Regular AMAs is one of the key points we want to focus on ourselves, because that's well in our control, right? To keep the community updated with progress, and I think that will instill a lot of confidence in people joining the project. We believe that like heavy paid marketing, something like that, it brings it brings in a lot of bots and spammers and people who aren't really interested in the project. So we're staying away from that right now. And for now, focus on like building out our social channels like Twitter and keep a good energy going in our Discord. I think like our Discord is the main hub where our community hangs out. So yeah, we want that to stay engaging and fun. So we will do like giveaways or bank snapshots to keep that energy up.
Mm-hmm. It's sort of, and that's your guys' strength as well, isn't it? You guys are really experienced in that space and good at it. So Discord's just a great medium for these sorts of things, isn't it? Like we can do anything on it. So
yeah, I
think there's a lot to be said for the social media stuff. Yeah, so I think that's covered that question pretty well. And what you guys up to 4,000 Discord members now? Is that right? Something in that vicinity?
No,
1,700.
1,700.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought. Oh no, 1,700. 1,700. That's all right. That's good numbers in though. 4 weeks? So continue the same sort of exposure, the same sort of patterns, and you're going to be going pretty well. And to be honest, it's a pretty big number in the Harmony community for a project that's been going for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
Longer, I guess.
Like we started the community building a bit before the mint, obviously. But I think right now we have our project out there. The token is running. The upgrade system is working. We have the bank. We have the marketplace dropping. I think as we add in more features and we keep developing, I think that's when we will see continued growth in our Discord or on Twitter. And with some nice marketing, so yeah.
Yeah, cool. No, I think that's I think we see that. I'm still seeing people fairly regularly popping through, asking about how to buy nights and which nights best to buy. So, and the secondary market's been quite strong. Hasn't spent much time below mint price, has it?
I think
from what I've seen.
I don't know what it's at right now. I think around mint price or.
Yeah,
I think it's just
slightly
below, but a lot of people are avoiding the floor ones and going straight for the rarer ones or the ones with the bigger upgrades.
Everyone wants a dragon sword.
Yeah.
I can't blame them. I got a golden pants, but that's about as fancy as I got on my 3 mints. I've got a pretty nice helmet there, but I'm happy with them. I don't need to be at the top of the tree. There's where did we get to? I read a really good question here about. I think we've covered how you're going to counter the sell pressure of the token, just through items and these other things. How much? Do we have an idea of how much night token will be required to be burned to create a squire?
No exact number. No, not yet.
No. We'll leave that. We won't. You'll have to do some numbers, I guess. That'll be one for the number crunchers to make work.
Exactly, that's it.
Yeah, there's a lot of number crunching to be done.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I won't push any further on that one. Animated NFTs, is that something that you guys are sort of thinking about at all? Any sort of animation of these sorts of things? That's the next question there. From Yasho.
No, not yet. No, not at the moment.
No. Fair enough.
Yeah, perhaps in the future somewhere, but no, it's not on the roadmap right now.
You have to be so careful with the amount of space that the NFTs are taking up, don't you? For as far as loading people and people actually able to access it. Yeah, we've noticed that's a big part of it.
Yeah,
with NFTs, with the badges we're trying to create. Sometimes there's going to have to definitely be a trimming just to make it so that it doesn't take too long to spin there, and the more of these animations or frills that you put on it, the harder that is to do, I guess. So I think it's important to make the game work fast rather than be frills and banners. New team members, Thune. You guys how many of you guys got working with you over there? And sort of what do you plan on getting to?
Yeah, well, we have 4 people on the core team. So there's me, Sean, Better Blockchain, and Hope Slicer. and we have like a really good artist who we're in contact with right now. But he works on a commission basis, so like he's not part of the core team, but we have discussed a longer term like a partnership with him. So that's looking really good, and we have the same sort of commission-based work with a lore writer. Like to write the quest storylines, stuff like that. And she also wrote like way back in the day when we just started up our Discord, there was like we had the background stories and introduced a few characters. That was done by the lore writer as well. That's it basically, and of course we have 3 moderators who also help out a lot. So definitely a big shout out to them as well.
So you've got a decent moderating team over there too, which is cool. But so you're pretty happy then with the size of your team at the moment? I think, like as we said before, you're getting lots of things done, so it doesn't seem like you're sort of short of stuff.
Yep, everything on our short-term to medium-term roadmap is achievable with the team that we've got right now and the people that we've got on commission. We've got somebody who we've just been in touch with for marketing, and like Darcy, we've got the lore writer and this artist who's amazing. And as well as this, we're in the process of striking a deal which we'll need the community's help with. So our first holders vote will be proposed and executed over the next couple of weeks for it as well. But we'll give more information in the coming week or so.
Oh, that's interesting. So do you guys plan on sort of being heavily influenced by these votes going forward, Shan, or do you think it's sort of, going to be these rare occasions for bigger moments where you ask for a bit of clarity from the community?
This is hang on.
It's for some big proposals, like the one we're going to do soon. We definitely want the community's input for that one.
This is a big one, so we want to get the community input, but most of it will be core driven.
Cool. Oh well, we'll keep our eyes peeled. I'm sure you'll give us plenty of information for the decision that needs to be made, and I like the idea of community being able to do these things. Not only does it mean that you guys get to say if it goes wrong that it's the community's fault, but also gives people ownership of the process. Lets people buy in and feel like they're a part of it. So I think it's really important. Yeah. Where are we up to here? Can we give a round of applause for what the team has created so far? I think that's cool. I think you guys have been getting plenty of love over in your Discord. It's been really good.
We've got a great community.
Yeah, they are fun. I like the GIF world the GIF game is strong in your community as well, I reckon.
You're in the same
GIF. And you've got some
the emoji game as well.
The emojis are cool. We think we've got some pretty cool emojis, but you guys are rocking them right there with us. There's some good ones. I like the good night with the K. That's clever. That's clever.
Sean is the emoji master there.
Done well. Yeah. No, we've. It's a bit of fun. I think you can say a lot with a few emojis, so it's good. We got one here, Virtual Virus. If everything went exactly as the team hoped, without setbacks or major problems, where do you see K and P by the end of the year? This is open-ended, but like sky's the limit. What's realistic best case scenario? I think that's a fair question. If things are going along swimming at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it is open-ended, like you said. Like crypto, like the crypto space and the play-to-earn space, the NFT space, all of this stuff it's moving so quickly, right? Like 1 month from now is 1 month ago. We hadn't even launched this project. So it's really hard to predict where we are like at the end of the year. Like what we want to do is like get the stuff on our roadmap done. We want all the features that we have on there out there, and have people engaging with the ecosystem, like having fun playing the game, having a passionate community. Like I love when the community starts theory crafting about things, sharing tips and tricks with each other. I think that's if we can get to that point, then I'd say we have a really successful project. And if we have that foundation laid out, like if we have all the features out there, then we can like add new pieces and things to the puzzle as we go to keep it fresh, keep it fun, add new items in there, add new peasants. I think that's where we want to be at the end of the year.
Awesome. I think that's a great answer. Because your roadmap's quite good and quite concise about where you want to be. So that's cool. And you're right. If you can keep the sort of the same momentum in community, then the sky's your limit. That's a really good question, Virtual. Cheers for that, mate. There's another one here just about biggest lessons learned from watching other projects. So you guys have been involved sort of in one way or another with lots of projects. Has there been sort of anything in particular that you guys have noticed that you really thought needed to be done in this one that you'd noticed either didn't work other places, or, and you don't have to bag anyone, but anything that you were trying to avoid or trying to get to that you'd noticed in other projects that sort of inspired a decision?
The major one would be to never give dates, to always under-promise and over-deliver, and just stay away from dates.
I think you've played it really well tonight. You haven't locked yourselves into anything too much. So you've done well.
Yeah,
So,
I think every single one of us on the team have learnt that lesson, just to under-promise, over-deliver, and keep building.
I think it's one thing, like, and for anyone, and as we talked about earlier, like we've followed your guys' progress, and anyone that sort of goes from one side of the looking glass, let's say, to the other, and that's like consumer to project included in a project, you really do understand pretty quickly the workload and the things that these guys are up against. As far as, it's all well good. You can put 100 hours into something, can run into a problem right at the very end that's going to cost you another 20. And there's just no way of knowing that until you've done it. And I think people are getting better at understanding it, but you really do notice it once you come to the other side of that fulcrum. Yeah, it's quite interesting. So we've got Baby Grogu here. Reasoning. No, yeah, I did read this question. So, reasoning behind Squires not being able to summon. Is there any ideas that perhaps in the future you'll be able to, you guys were calling it summoning earlier on, but I guess it's more employing Squires, isn't it, almost? Yeah. But yeah, what's the process around the nights and these things? And is there anything you'd be able to talk about? Maybe limited numbered NFTs with limited summoning at a later date?
Yeah, it's difficult to say. Like I said earlier, like Squires are a bit more in the future, so it comes down to numbers again. Like we don't want to flood the market with Squires, but we also don't want to exclude players who are interested in the game but enter like months from now. Say someone finds this project in a few months, the knights are all minted out. So he wants a Squire, but we don't want to exclude them, but we also don't want to flood the market with Squires. So it's basically, it comes down to striking a right balance between that, right? And if that means that we need to revisit the idea of having Squires being able to summon, but just on a limited number, then we have to think about that, right? And we have to discuss it and like see if it what the numbers come down to, if that works for the future, basically going forward.
That's the thing. Everyone wants 1,000 NFT, more NFTs until there's 100,000 of them, and you can't give away the bottom few. So it's that balance is crucial to making things work, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest topics of discussion right now, like the biggest question marks we need to nail, because the Squire system is, like in my opinion, going to be one of the most fun stuff out there, right? The thrill of, like you see it in the minting process, like the thrill of minting a knight was really fun, like hoping to get a rare knight. We want to have that in the Squire system as well. So we really want to nail that part.
Yeah, it can be. If done well, and in the games that you see it done well, it just adds that whole new level of sort of strategy and what are you going to breed from, and what are you going to, what are your aims, and what are the, it's really interesting.
Yeah,
It does just adds
exactly.
that extra level. Baby Gregory's here again. Implement to allow people joining in the future. So we've talked a bit, I think. Probably covered that one. Pets in the future. Are our knights getting pets? Oh, that's my dragons.
That's your wizards.
Elves. Yeah, they could head over there. Oh, sorry, my dog's going crazy in the background. Angry little sausage dog. I'm just going to mute for a second, and you guys tell me a little bit about.
Well, something that we really want, like I'm not saying, well, it's a pet in a way, but we don't have an exact date yet, but we really want to have horses, obviously, in the game, in the ecosystem in one way or another. We have some really cool ideas for that. And so I think when you're thinking pets, I think horses is the first logical step we are taking towards that. And implementing them, having their place in the ecosystem. Horses makes the most sense, we think. Because, a knight with a horse.
But on that note, please don't win us because they're not soon.
No, that's fair enough.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I think there's so much you can do with a horse as far as like strengths, weaknesses, helping in battle, speeding up things.
Yeah.
There's so much that can be done with a horse. So I like the idea. Yeah, I'll probably end up with a donkey, knowing my luck. So whitelist airdrops, is any information on whitelist airdrops from Joda?
Well, I wouldn't want to say soon, but as soon as we get the items and peasants circulating in the ecosystem, so it will be after quests drop, basically, because that's when items and stuff are getting emitted into the ecosystem, and that's where we want to. That's where we're looking at to start doing this, and also we can do fun stuff with the bank holders as well, right? We have a snapshot currently going on, or like a snapshot contest at the moment for bank stakers and items and peasants and stuff. We can do contests with those as well, right, to reward bank holders. So there's a lot of fun ways we can look at.
Cool. So I just realised we've been going for over an hour. That's awesome. I didn't realise we were taking so long.
Oh, yeah.
So we've done well. So I'll whip through. There are a couple of other little questions here that I think can be quick. So I think we've gotten to a stage now where we're sort of, Hope Slice has been answering some questions and down there. So thanks for that, Hope. And so there's a couple of other quick things here that was just what did I see? Secondary token. Is there any? There's been a lot of games introduced secondary tokens. You guys thought or touched on that at all, or are you happy with Knight? I sort of think it works pretty well with the one for you guys, doesn't it?
We'll just go with Hope Slice's answer of maybe.
Cool. And then there was another one there. The I guess, like, everyone's talking cross chain, obviously, because of a couple of events that have happened lately. It's the buzzword, but any sort of plans? Is that on your horizon? It doesn't sort of fit in that well with what you guys are doing as much, does it?
Well, it's not like if it makes sense in the future. I think we should keep options open, but for now, we like Harmony. It's an awesome community. We started here. We know a lot of people here in the community. It's a tight community, right? I think we are all really happy to be here building on Harmony. So it
awesome.
won't be
awesome. Yeah, I think
short term. Yeah.
I think there's. I'm still bullish on Harmony long term. I think we're seeing lots of great things spring up, and all of these games, as they come into more of a complete state, are going to be able to draw more and more people. So it's a lot easier to drag people in when there's playable games there for them, and we're not that far away from seeing that sort of thing in a much bigger number than what we've got now. So I think there's still a lot of bullishness there.
Yeah, for sure.
Kev, if you can maybe, or Rosh, if you want to go through and maybe pick someone for a badge. So we're planning on giving an OG badge giveaway, and we've had some awesome questions there. So once again, anyone that's listening, thank you so much for that. Do you guys have anything else that we've sort of haven't covered that you tell anyone while we're doing it? And thanks for the big announcement. That's really cool. Have we sort of touched on everything there that you thought you might want to?
Oh yeah, I think we talked about the project a lot, and that was fun. It's been a few weeks since we did an AMA, so well, it sort of made like we had the plans to do the AMA together for a pretty long time, and I'm really happy to have done it with you guys. Like, you've been really supportive right from the start. So I have nothing else to add. Like the marketplace stuff, that's really cool. I'm going to, like, for our own nights listening in at the moment, I'll write up the announcement right after this AMA and post it in our Discord as well with the details in there. And yeah, I have nothing to add other than that.
We just want to hear about your badgement now.
Yes.
Yep. Jerry, I can, I've picked out a winner for the badge. Virtual Virus has asked a few good questions. I won't go into the exact questions, but there's a couple really good ones. So congratulations, Virtual Virus, on an OG badge that you can claim on Sunday.
Well, Kev, why don't you tell us a little bit? Kev, you tell us a little bit about that badge minch for him, because that's coming soon. What's it gonna get him? His shiny new badge.
Yep. So we're currently, the plan is to have a 3 p.m. PST start the minting process. You'll just have your 301 ready in your wallet. You'll connect to our website that will probably launch a couple hours prior to the mint going live, and then just click on the mint badge and you'll have your very own OG badge. That we have a few infographics that have all the information that it presents, but one is it's basically your membership card to the DAO, and once we have our token launched, our alpha token launched, you'll be able to stake the alpha within the badge, and then that gives you a voting rights. And also we'll start to open up locked doors once we start to take all of our Discord channels will become private and only for Alpha Gaming DAO members. And also we will be airdropping, we'll be holding a raffle, for, it should be Monday, so maybe one day into the mint we'll be doing our first airdrop raffle for badge holders to highlight what comes with the badge and what it will offer. And yeah.
Awesome. Cheers for that, mate. So there's 5,000 OG badges going on sale, 300 each. Proceeds are basically going towards dev funds and finishing off a couple of things that we need for our website and for our market rental place. So that's what you're paying for. And anyone that's listening to this on YouTube in a year, hopefully it's a really successful thing when you're looking back at it. And if you haven't got Knights and Peasants, I feel sorry for you, because you probably missed it if it's 12 months from now. But I think we just go back. We go back to saying thank you very much for coming, guys. We really do appreciate it. And as we've said, it's got such a good community over there, so we're really part of it. And we're going to share this on YouTube with you a little bit later on. So hopefully those that are sleeping, if virtual sleeping, they'll wake up to something pretty cool.
Yeah. Thanks, man, for having us. We had fun, so yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Guys.
Really appreciate it. So thanks everyone that came along. Hopefully you found out what you needed to know, and we got to your question. We had a lot of questions, and to everyone that put the effort in there. And tell your friends about it. we're going to share it on YouTube, and hopefully we see you all at our badge man on Sunday. Good job, guys.
Have a good weekend.